Sometimes they have no plan to drink where they're going. And I say sometimes, I would say about 15% of the time, people have no intention to drink at whatever the event they're at. But normally people do know they're going to drink. Anytime you're going to drink, I don't care if you're just thinking, I'm just going to take one drink. You need to have plans in place for a designated driver, because guess what? When people begin to be intoxicated, they always think, well, I'm just going to the corner. I got this. And usually they don't have this. And in your situation with those people that were in an accident, and it says they were non-fatal accidents, I'm sure it was fender benders, right? All of those people could be dead because of you. Your 4-year-old who was in the vehicle while you're driving intoxicated, 4-year-old could be dead. And the reason why I say that is because, and I say this, my statistics professor would be upset because I haven't done any statistics on it. But guess what I've discovered? Just in my time on the planet and doing this type of work, usually the person who is intoxicated, I don't care if there's a big fire explosion, if they ran into the beauty salon where everybody is. Usually the person who's intoxicated walks away just fine. Some people say because you're so laid back and loose because you're intoxicated. Usually the person who ends up dying, soccer mom, just taking the children to soccer practice. In this court, I've had people where the grandfather ends up dying, just going on an anniversary to pick his wife up a meal to surprise her. Usually it's the children in somebody's car. These people either end up dying or either they end up getting injured and they're never the same again physically. I had somebody come in telling me as a complainant, I can no longer do the things that I used to do. I'm in constant pain. So when you go someplace and you know you are going to drink, you need to have plans in place. I don't drink alcohol. I don't think it tastes great. So usually I was always the designated driver, which means Sprite with lime was always free for me. People like, Stephanie, we'll buy your meal because you're the designated driver. If you get to a place and you didn't anticipate that drinking was going to be involved, you need to tell them, I don't have a backup plan, so I'm not going to drink at all. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you. Probation was, all right, if you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court doesn't follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes.
Did you understand if, I'm sorry, just one moment. I'm reading the paperwork and I'm just trying to make sure something's in here. All right. Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe she has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against her?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe she's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Alvarado, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived her right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. According to the plea, punishment is to be assessed at 2 years in the state jail facility. There's a $500 fine. State recommends community supervision. They're taking in consideration County Court Cause number 711577. There's to be restitution payable to the following: Brian Bonilla, Bonilla, David Chavarria, Mike Rodriguez, Jaime, Hayme, Chavarria, Graciela, Graciela, Rodriguez, Mike Xavier Rodriguez, Destiny, Destany, Bustamante, Daniel Bustamante, DWI intervention, victim impact panel, and ignition interlock for half the term. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
State?
Yes, Judge.
Showing you the waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, are there any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Outside the plea bargain agreement, the state is requesting that your community supervision be assessed at a cap of 4 years. There be a TAP evaluation, 80 hours of community service restitution, 10 days house arrest in lieu of 10 days in the Bexar County Jail. Did you understand those were recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, ma'am.
Then to the offense of driving while intoxicated with a child under 15, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Good.
State, any evidence?
State all proceeds exhibit 1 in all attachments.
Any objection?
No, Your Honor.
Your Honor, here's the dismissal.
Oops, sorry. And let me give this to you. Showing you what's entitled waivering consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulation. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same.
5 minutes into this hearing, the temperature in the room changes. The judge isn't buying the comfort of an affidavit of non-driving if a car sits in the driveway. Why? Access equals risk. In DWI cases with a child passenger, courts often require ignition interlocks to protect the public, especially when a vehicle is available at home. You can hear the stakes: restitution to multiple victims, community supervision on the line, and a warning that neighbors and probation do notice. This is where courtroom promises collide with practical reality. And yes, the sentence? 2 years state jail suspended, 4 years probation, fines, classes, and strict monitoring. But the toughest part may be compliance.
All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Yes, Your Honor. My client has been on the portable device. We would ask the court to impose that, or continue imposing that instead of the ignition interlock. She is no longer driving. It was an affidavit of non-driving on file with the court in a pretrial motion to ask the court to modify that, which the court did. And we just ask that continue during her probation. Regarding the term of community supervision, we understand that the state is capped at 4 years. We are asking for 2 years. This is Ms. Maribel has very little criminal history. This is her second encounter that has landed us here. She's been very remorseful and very quick and willing to accept responsibility for what she's done or what happened, what transpired. She has insurance, which we feel should be able to compensate anybody who was involved in this. And we'd ask for the court to impose 2 years a probationary period for her.
All right, Ms. Alvarado, are you employed?
Yes, I'm a self-employed.
What do you do?
A house cleaning.
How many children do you have?
Well, living with me 2, but I have 7 on total.
I'm sorry, what?
7,
So you have a total of 7?
yes, but only 2 living with me.
All right, the 2 that are living with you, what are their ages?
4 and 14. He's gonna be 15.
All right, and the other 5, what are their ages?
He's gonna be 20. 20. I'm sorry, I'm
That's okay.
27, 24, and 23.
All right, so they're all adults.
They're married.
Okay. So are you the only person living in the household?
Right now, my brother-in-law, he came to live with me.
All right, is your sister living with you?
No, it's my brother-in-law.
No, no, I mean, why is your brother-in-law living with you and not your sister? I'm just curious.
Oh, no, I mean, we got divorced. And then I just give him a chance to,
Oh, it's your brother-in-law,
Yes.
not your sister's husband. It's your husband's brother.
yes.
Okay. All right, state, she's saying that she has the portable device.
Yes, Your Honor.
And so they want to continue with the portable device. I'm being told that there's an affidavit of non-driving on file. Are there any vehicles at the home?
Yes,
If there's going to be vehicles at the home, regardless of the affidavit of non-driving, she'll need an ignition interlock on those vehicles because she has access to them. Do you understand?
yes. But I was gonna ask permission not to put it on his vehicle because, I mean, it's his vehicle. you
No,
know?
I mean, I understand, but the problem is you have access to drive it. So if you have a relationship with your ex's family, so much so that the brother-in-law can move in with you, that means that something could come up and he can say, hey, you can drive my vehicle. Then you're driving a vehicle with no ignition interlock on it. And I understand what people will tell me. They'll say, Judge, you can trust me. I signed an affidavit of non-driving, but I've seen plenty of people who sign an affidavit of non-driving, and if they have a vehicle parked at their home, they end up driving it because a neighbor or somebody will call and say, tell the clerk, tell probation, and say, just so you know, this person is driving a vehicle without ignition interlock. And this is a very serious case. So if he wants to park his vehicle at one of the vias, what do you call those vias where you park your car there?
Pardon, right?
All right.
Yeah, if he wants to park his car at a parking ride, he can park his car at a parking ride. But it can't be parked at your house. If it is, it's gonna have to have an ignition interlock on it. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
All right. So I'm going to sentence you to 2 years in the state jail facility, suspended and probated for 4 years. There's a $500 fine that will be probated. Take in consideration County Court Cause number 711577. There's to be restitution, if any, to the following people. And counsel, if there's an issue that comes up with restitution, you can always file a motion and we'll have a hearing on it. But there's to be restitution, if any, to Brian Bonilla, David Chavarria, Mike Rodriguez, Jaime Chavarria, Graciela Rodriguez, Mike Xavier Rodriguez, Destiny Bustamante, Daniel Bustamante, DWI Intervention, Victim Impact Panel Live, Ignition Interlock for half the term. Probation, she will be allowed to do the portable device with affidavit of non-driving. And if there's no vehicle at the residence. So if something were to happen and he decides to do the parking ride and not have the vehicle at the residence at all, then you can do the portable. But if that's not the case, you're going to do ignition interlock for half the term. You understand?
Yes, sir.
And I believe I said 2 years suspended and probated for 4 years. There's to be 100 hours of community service restitution. I'm going to order parenting classes And once that's completed, the community service hours will be deemed to be satisfied. Proof of employment within 45 days. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. Regular reporting by Zoom or in person. Regular UAs, make sure they test for alcohol. There's to be 30 days house arrest in lieu of the 10 days of the Bexar County Jail. And the court is doing that because I note that you have a 4-year-old and a 14-year-old. And I know the 14-year-old could probably take care of the 4-year-old. I babysat when I was that age, but I know it's something the 14-year-old should not be doing because they have school going on. There's going to be field visits 1 time per month for 3 months. And probation, if there are no issues, then you can cease the visitations or do them as you see fit. And there's to be the DWI education course. Probation, is there anything else she needs? Is there anything else you need from the court to be successful?
No,
I'm sorry?
no.
All right, I'm showing you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Yes, no.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, no.
Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, no.
All right, we're going to go off the record. Here's the thing. A lot of people,
What you're hearing now is the engine room of criminal practice. Discovery checks, reset dates, and talk of offers. Before any plea is accepted, the defense confirms they've reviewed the state's evidence, police reports, statements, lab work, so the defendant can make an informed decision. When counsel says, "We're still in conference," it signals ongoing negotiations or follow-up, like interviewing defense witnesses or awaiting a victim's input. Judges track this with deadline resets, set a date, expect progress, and keep the calendar moving. It isn't flashy, but these 10-minute status moments dictate outcomes. A better deal, a firmer trial posture, or a crucial piece of evidence that changes everything.
and counsel, you can continue to confer there for the defense.
Roger Pettis for Mr. Reyes.
And are you Mr. Reyes? Counsel, have you received all the discovery and did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Reyes, I'm showing you what's entitled Application for Deferred Adjudication or Community Supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Reyes, I'm showing you what's entitled Court Admonishments. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you're charged with the offense of possession of marijuana 4 ounces to 5 pounds? That's state jail felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes,
Off the record for a moment. You can continue to confer and you can give me your answers from the table because I know you're multitasking.
I'll show lead judge. Here is the dismissal.
All right, thank you. Did you understand if you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
If for any reason the court doesn't follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights? You need to speak up.
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter a plea in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty, sentence you up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
He has, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I do, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Reyes, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial, showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
According to the plea, there's a $2,000 fine. State recommends deferred adjudication. They will take in consideration cause number 690950, and there's to be restitution to Somerset PD for testing. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Showing you the waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Outside the plea bargain agreement, the state is requesting that your deferred adjudication be for a term of 2 years. There be a TAP evaluation, 200 hours community service restitution, and the weapon is to be destroyed in 690950. Did you understand those were recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Okay.
State, any evidence to support the defendant's plea?
State offers exhibit 1 in all attachments.
Any objection?
No objections, Your Honor.
Showing you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports and laboratory reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. And I'm sorry, with regards to this offense, how are you pleading?
No contest.
Okay. After reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, I'm going to find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. I'll defer finding of guilt as you applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Reyes is 19 years old. He's a high school graduate. He's worked part-time with his mother's landscaping companies. He's also taking care of some kids as well as working on his own on a graphic design program, which he hopes to enroll in January. So he's kind of getting his life on track and this kind of put him on the sidelines for a bit.
All right. How old are you?
19.
Do you have any children?
No.
Are you living with your mom?
Yes.
Why are you getting involved with this nonsense?
I was just, hanging around the wrong people. I was influenced
I'm sorry.
easy, I would say, just making bad choices.
All right. I don't understand why people let people influence them. And usually young people are let people influence them who have not been in their life for more than 2 months. As my grandmother would say, you are lucky then you are not around when people had all these cults and they're having people drink Kool-Aid, because you would have been one of those people who would have went right off with them. And I can say that because my grandmother would always tell us, I'm glad your aunt was not in New York, because she would have been right at Jonestown with everybody else, because people are easily influenced. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
And when you come before me and you say you are hanging out with wrong people, if I had those people in front of me and I asked them, Why are you doing this foolishness? You know what they would tell me? I was hanging out with the wrong people and I'm easily influenced. And I would say, well, who are these wrong people you're hanging out with? And you know who would they name? You. Now, when you're drug tested today, what are the results going to be? And you are getting drug tested today. So you might as well tell me the truth now and not have probation waste a UA cup on you. So what are you going to be positive for?
Marijuana,
How often are you smoking marijuana?
like once a week.
All right. So here's the thing. I know that people say marijuana, there's not a problem with smoking it. You know, I understand. Have I ever smoked marijuana in my lifetime? No. But this is what I do know. You are in the state of Texas. You are not in Colorado. You are not in another state where marijuana is legal. Marijuana is still illegal in the state of Texas. And you cannot smoke marijuana while you're on probation. Do you understand?
Yes.
So there is none of this sitting out on your balcony. The weather is cool. This is the perfect time to smoke marijuana because the weather is just at that certain state. I can say that because when I was in college, that's what people would say. This is the perfect weather for smoking marijuana. And I'm like, yeah, I don't do that, but go on with your life. So you're going to have to start making better choices. If you do not, guess what's going to end up happening? You're going to be in prison or you're going to be in the Bexar County Jail.
Yes.
And you're young. People at the jail would welcome you. I would say with open arms. You wouldn't appreciate their welcome, but they would welcome you. The prison would welcome you with open arms. And you would not appreciate their welcome. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Would you like to be brought over in orange?
No, Your Honor.
All right. And is your mom, you love your mom?
Yes.
Mom don't want you here for this. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
And whose car were you driving
That was my truck. Oh, wait, you're talking about
during this?
my Theos.
He doesn't appreciate you having drugs in his car and smoking marijuana in his car. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. This is what the court is going to do. The court is going to sentence you to 3 years deferred adjudication. There's a $2,000 fine that will be probated. Take in consideration 690,950. There's to be restitution to Somerset PD for drug testing. I'm going to want regular UAs, and he's to be tested for levels. We'll do the DOEP course. There's to be 200 hours of community service restitution. Destroy the weapon. And 690,950. Regular reporting by Zoom or in person. Regular UAs. So what are you doing in your spare time?
Just working part-time some days throughout the week. Then when I'm off, I hope watch my sister's little kid. She's 2 years old.
All right, and how old is your sister?
She's 21, but she's a general manager at Taco Bell. So she gets late hours. So the days that she's working late, I'll help watch her daughter.
You can't be watching anybody's children when you use marijuana, you understand? So who else is at the home when you're watching the 2-year-old?
Well, sometimes my grandma was there. That's if she wants to come over to my mom's apartment.
All right, I'm going to tell you, there's not going to be any unsupervised contact with minors until his levels are down for marijuana use. Babies don't need to be smelling people who smell like marijuana, and they don't need people using marijuana around them. You understand? Because everything that you do, they pick up on.
Yes, Your Honor.
And I can tell you from a person who doesn't smoke cigarettes, never smoked marijuana. If I walk by and I smell someone who smoked marijuana or smoked cigarettes or drank alcohol, it's like a heavy scent to me and it almost gives me a headache. So with young children, it's the same thing. And you don't want her ending up around people and they say, this baby's clothes smell like marijuana. We don't want that, do we?
No, Your Honor.
And we don't want her to start off her life in a bad situation because her uncle uses drugs. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so
Listen closely to the paperwork trail: admonishments, waiver of jury, and a stipulation of evidence. Instead of live witnesses, both sides agree the court may rely on reports and statements. That's common in plea courts. It streamlines proof of guilt. Here, the state recommends deferred adjudication, meaning the judge defers a finding of guilt while the defendant completes conditions. If he succeeds, there's no final conviction for that charge. If he fails, the court can find him guilty and sentence within the range. You'll hear the judge emphasize rights, jury, confrontation, silence, and that the plea waives an appeal except for limited pretrial issues. It's procedural, but life-altering.
there's to be no unsupervised contact with minors until he produces a negative UA. I'm going to want field visits one time per month for 4 months. And then probation after that, if everything is going well, you can have field visits however you deem is appropriate. And are you in school?
No.
So what are you planning on doing with the rest of your life?
Going out soon, I'm gonna try to go into graphics designing school.
All right. So if he provides a certificate or some sort of completion of some sort of trade school or school, then the 100 hours of community, then the 200 hours of community service hours will be waived. So you can spend your day. I always say community service hours is great and you always get something out of it. But here's the situation. You can either do 200 community service hours, you'll feel great in your heart, or you can either get a college degree or go into trade school, and those 200 community service hours will be wiped out and you will have improved yourself for a better occupation. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, probation. Is there anything else he needs? Yes, we'll do a TAP evaluation. And we'll follow the recommendations for TAP, but if TAP recommends inpatient treatment, we'll start with intensive outpatient treatment. Is there anything else you need from the court in order to be successful?
No, Your Honor.
Showing you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we can go off the record here on out. Everything that you do in this world, while you're on paper or under a contract with the court, anything you want to do, you need to ask yourself 2 questions. 1, is this something that could potentially result in me going to the state jail facility for 2 years? If the answer is yes, don't do it. If the answer is maybe, don't do it. Do not come back to this court if your levels are at 0 and then they end up rising. And the probation, they send me a motion to revoke. Do not come back to me saying, oh, I got a contact high. Oh, I was around somebody else who was using, because guess what? In the conditions of your probation, you are not supposed to be around anyone who's breaking the laws of Texas. And as I said before, possession of marijuana, using marijuana is illegal in Texas. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, good luck to you. Do better.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Keith Davis. Who's the attorney for Keith Davis?
Your Honor, good morning. Frankie Sandoval on behalf of Mr. Davis.
All right, Rashawn, this is a plea bargain agreement. And there are no applications.
Okay.
Court is calling 2023 CR 4938, State of Texas versus Keith Eugene Davis. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Hank Wilkins for the state, Your Honor.
Defense?
Your Honor, good morning. Frank Sandoval on behalf of Mr. Davis.
Are you Keith Davis?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have you received all the discovery? Did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Davis, I'm showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Judge.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Judge, we are waiving the habitual enhancement and proceeding with the defendant as a repeat offender.
Any objection?
No objection on behalf of Mr. Davis, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Davis, I'm going to show you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendant's Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you're charged with felon in possession of a firearm? The range of punishment for that offense is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If the state is able to prove that you are a repeater, then the range of punishment will be anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand? If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court doesn't follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you, and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand? Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
No.
All right. Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
He has, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
In my opinion, yes, Judge.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
In my opinion, yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Davis, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you're gonna have to start speaking up, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea, punishment is to be assessed at 8 years in the prison. There are no applications. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense,
Yes, Your Honor.
state,
Yes, Your Honor.
showing you the waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor, there have not been.
Then to the offenses charged, you plea guilty, not guilty, or no contest.
No contest.
And with regards to the repeat offender paragraph, it states, and it is further presented in and to said court that before the commission of the offense alleged above, hereinafter styled the primary offense on the 24th of September AD 1999 and cause number 1998 CR 3920 in Bear County, Texas, the defendant was convicted of the felony of possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1 gram to 4 grams. How do you plead? True or not true?
True.
State any evidence to support the defendant's pleas.
Your Honor, I offer State's Exhibit 1 in the attachments.
No objection, Judge.
Mr. Davis, I'm showing you what's entitled Wavering Consent to Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence State's Exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing State's Exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will find you guilty. The court will find the enhancement true based upon your plea of true and based upon State's Exhibits 1 and attachments. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Your Honor, Mr. Davis presents himself here. He he currently knows that his record is one that he needs to be in the process of putting behind him. And just
This is the Probation Reality Check. The defendant admits weekly marijuana use. The judge responds with the rule that matters here. Whatever you think about marijuana policy elsewhere, Texas law controls, and probationers must obey every condition, especially UAs and no association with lawbreakers. The court ties supervision to public safety and rehabilitation, classes, DOEP, regular drug testing, community service, even contact limits with minors until clean tests come back. Notice the incentive design. Complete trade school or a degree, and 200 community service hours can be waived, a carrot to redirect time toward education. Fail the tests, and the carrot becomes a revocation stick.
ask the board to accept the plea bargain so that he may begin doing so.
All right, the court will, as previously stated, find you guilty, sentence you to 8 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served. The court will find the enhancement true.
Sorry, Judge.
Thank you. No problem. Going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. And because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we can go off the record. Here's the thing. Texas has certain rules, and by now I think you know the rules and laws. If you end up with another felony, depending on what type of felony it is, your minimum is going to be 25 years in the prison. How old are you?
47.
47. You do the math. 25 years and 47 is not a good number to be at the prison with your health conditions. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
You're going to have to make changes. Otherwise, you're going to find yourself living at somebody's jail and living at somebody's prison. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Are your parents still alive?
No, my father is.
All right. Do you love your father?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm sure he would like to see you and not have to visit you at somebody's institution. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Good luck to you.
Your Honor, may I approach briefly? It's on a defendant that's not here. He's in federal custody. I just wanted to inform the court.
Mark Ivy.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
That's not a good
All right.
thing.
If you can talk with, because I thought maybe he was in
I've already,
federal custody.
we've been actually confirmed for the last 2 weeks, Judge. So he's not sentenced. It keeps- But we're trying to figure out if there's anything that we can cut the fat off and run one or two concurrent with the federal sentence. So we are making headway, but I don't know the reset date.
Oh,
And it continues to keep getting pushed back.
all right. Just 1 second. You'll be coming up in a few minutes.
To have a doctor's appointment.
Okay, go to your doctor's appointment. Okay, thank you. All right, Alicia Marino. So where are we on this?
Good morning, Honor. We've made an offer this morning, Judge. I think they're going to need some time. We may have a plea at the next setting, Your Honor. That's my understanding.
Yes, Your Honor, that is correct. If we could just get a plea deadline date, I think we can get it resolved at the next setting.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, if you'll call Ms. Alicia Marino in 2 weeks for a plea deadline date, please. All right, we'll be back on October 12th. Thanks for dressing appropriately for court. Once you sign the reset form, you're excused.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Who's here on Aaron Alvarado?
Did you want Mr. Alvarado?
Yes. Aaron Alvarado, if you'll come down. All right, today is his plea deadline date.
Yes, Your Honor. We don't have any agreement.
Okay, so you all need a
Your
jury.
Honor, so in this case, the complainant is in KC State Jail. We're attempting to have her writted over here. She's not waiving prosecution, so we kind of need to speak with her about any counter proposals.
Oh, do you guys want to call, if you call the librarian at the state jail facility, we can bring her here, or y'all can call her and talk to her on the phone. The librarian will set up a phone call with y'all. If y'all want to do it that way, that seems like that may be quicker.
Sure, well, we're willing to do it that way as well. Your Honor.
All right. All right, Ms. Ferguson. On this case, if we were going to recall this for Monday, and Ms. Garza, we're currently in a jury trial. So we won't be able to give him his jury trial today. If we can do it sooner than that, we'll see if we can. Ms. Ferguson, this come back on October 2nd.
Okay,
All right,
thank you.
you're welcome.
Yes.
And then next person up is Miss Henry, Mr. Henry. And Norma, if you can help the state with do you have any objection to the coordinator helping the state with the phone call to the state jail?
Of course not.
All right, if you'll help them with the phone call to the state jail, Ms. Ferguson. Where are we on Mr. Knight? And I know you were just appointed.
Judge, it looks like one of the allegations on the motion to revoke probation, he's charged with a case out of Zavala County, a smuggling case.
Mhm.
It's my understanding the case has been dismissed. I need to verify that. The state emailed their investigator, and they got a response, but I don't believe that the information that the investigator provided has been updated. So I need to call personally and see if I can get some verification that the actual case has been dismissed, because there's only 2 allegations on that motion to revoke.
All
So if
right,
I can get a quick reset to see if I can do that,
you want to come back on this on the 2nd?
that's fine.
All right, so she'll be back on your case on the 2nd, you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And we'll have you brought back.
This one.
Thank you.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, on Henry, if you can recall it for October 2nd.
No, hallway judge.
Oh, let's wait for her then. Okay. All right, Norma, I need a reset date on Mark Ivy. Do you have any idea when he's been pushed back to on the federal side?
Is that Mark Ivy?
Yes.
I don't know about.
Just give us a moment.
Mhm.
It is a vibe. I like that movie.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Judge, on that, I was unaware that it was a federally held, because it's most of it's standardized. But I can just shoot off an email for you.
All right. So what I'll do is I'll have Norma set this sometime in November. And of course, if they bring him over before then, we'll do it beforehand.
I'll put it in.
All right, Norma, I need a November date for Mr. Ivy. All right. And state, he's still waiting, I think, sentencing in Maverick County. And we're just waiting. Oh, there's probation. All right, probation, this is an application. Court is calling 2023 CR 6472, State of Texas versus Lisa Telsey, could I have parties announced for the record for the state
Hank Wilkins for the state yard.
defense?
Ed Garza from Miss Telsey.
Are you Miss Telsey?
Yes.
Counsel, have you received all the discovery and did you review it with your client?
We did, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Ms. Telsey, I'm showing you what's entitled application for deferred adjudication or community supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Yes, Your Honor. I was gonna ask.
Oh, just one moment. Mr. McLean?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now the stakes climb. The state reads a repeat offender paragraph, an older felony that enhances punishment. When the defendant answers true, that prior becomes part of today's sentence range. For felon in possession, the base is 2 to 10 years. But with a proven repeat enhancement, courts can go up to 20 years. Here, the negotiated outcome is 8 years in prison. Notice what didn't happen: a long sentencing speech from the lawyers. That's because the deal is already inked in the plea paperwork, and the judge confirms understanding, rights waived, limited appeal, firearms prohibitions, and a final warning. Another felony later could trigger even harsher minimums. Paper decisions, concrete consequences.
Where did we stop?
I'm showing you.
Yes. Okay, thank you. Are you back on the record? You had a question for me?
Yes, I was gonna ask if where's the community service gonna be at, like what's the location?
Probation is going to give you all of that information. Okay.
All right, thank you.
All right. I'm going to show you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
We are, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Telsey, I'm showing you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendant's Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you're charged with the offense of assault of a peace officer or judge bodily injury? That is a second-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court doesn't follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
You're going to have to keep your voice up.
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, Your
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 20 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine.
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe, just one moment. Mr. Davidson. Mr. Davidson? Bill Davidson,
Yes.
yes. If you could put your client on the back row and speak to him there instead of behind the court reporter. All right, no problem. Where were we? I'm so sorry.
Yes.
All right, thank you. Do you believe your client has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against her?
She does, Your Honor.
Do you believe she's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
She is, Your Honor.
Ms. Telsey, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No.
Anyone promise you anything other than the plea?
No, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with the way you citizen?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived her right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
According to the plea, state recommends deferred adjudication. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense?
Yes.
State.
Yes, Your Honor.
Showing you the waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand? Counsel, are there any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement, the state is recommending that your deferred adjudication be for a term of 8 years. There be a TAP evaluation and 200 hours of community service restitution. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations? Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State, any evidence to support the plea?
Your Honor, I offer State's Exhibit 1 in the attachments.
Any objection? All right, state, you may continue to confer.
Thank you, Judge.
Ms. Chelsea, I'm showing you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses that the state will call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. After reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. Court will defer finding of guilt as you've applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
We are, Your Honor, if it please the court.
All right. So all of this was over somebody owing somebody $50,
Sort of, Your Honor, yes.
and then you're getting involved.
Correct, Your Honor. My client accepts responsibility for making a very bad judgment that day and
Yes,
making a bad decision.
because here's the thing that people don't understand. One, do people think people should be hitting on females? No. But as a female, you can't hit somebody and then think they're not going to hit you back. And I read the police report. So the officer is attempting to stop a fight. And then everybody else wants to get involved. You want to get involved because you're like his brother. You're saying that that's my brother who's in the fight, right? And then you're going to punch the officer, and then the officer is getting you under control. And according to this, you're still punching and kicking on him. And then somebody's like, no, don't do it. She's pregnant. Well, guess what? When people are pregnant, they should not be getting involved in altercations.
You understand?
So how far along are you in your pregnancy?
8 months.
Do you have any other children? Are you employed? So how old are you?
20.
How are you supporting yourself?
Oh,
Like, how do you make money to eat?
I have a boyfriend that supports me.
Are you living with him?
He lives with me. I have my own apartment.
Well, how are you paying for your apartment?
It's already paid for a year through housing.
All right, so this is what I know about housing, because I used to do CPS cases. If you're on housing, your boyfriend's not supposed to be living with you. And honestly, Your boyfriend's not supporting you. You know who's supporting you? Everybody in here who has a job and pays taxes. I'm supporting you. Your attorney's supporting.
This case pivots on assault against a peace officer with bodily injury, a second-degree felony carrying 2 to 20 years. The court runs through rights and consequences, then spotlights behavior risks, being pregnant and engaging in a fight that escalates with law enforcement intervention. The legal point is simple. Regardless of who started the street fight, striking the officer changes everything. The negotiated track is deferred adjudication with demanding terms, 200 hours community service, anger management, parenting classes, field visits, and steady UAs. The court is drawing a line, accountability now to avoid prison later. In the judge's view, protecting the public and the unborn child requires structure and supervision.
All the attorneys who are in here supporting you. Anybody in the gallery who has a job is supporting you. So your boyfriend is not supporting you. And what I'm going to tell you right now, if your boyfriend is living with you and you're on housing, guess what? If the government finds out about it, which usually they do, you're going to end up having charges because they're going to want their money back. And this is the way the government works. The government doesn't tell you they know your boyfriend is living with you. They don't tell you they know that you're getting food stamps and you shouldn't get them. You know what they do? They wait till it's a felony. And then once it's a felony, then they bring charges. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
How far did you go in school?
I got a high school diploma.
And what are you planning on doing with the rest of your life?
Getting myself together.
How?
I get a job.
And what type of job are you looking for?
Restaurant.
All right, see, here's the thing. You've decided and you made the decision to have a child with this boyfriend who can't even support himself. How old is he?
He's 22.
All right, he's 22. He can't even support himself. Y'all are both living off the government. Are you receiving food stamps? Yeah. Y'all are living off the government and you're about to bring a child into this world. And now the child is going to have one of their parents. I don't know about his criminal history, but the child is going to have one of their parents who's already on probation for felony. And a parent who fights officers in an alley who's pregnant and not even at this point thinking about them. Because if you were thinking about your unborn child, you wouldn't have been fighting with an officer in an alley and you wouldn't have been in an alley. You understand? And if you are not careful, Child Protective Services is going to be involved in your life. If you're drug tested today, what are the results going to be?
Negative.
And do you know if your boyfriend has any criminal history?
No.
Do you know or do you not know?
I don't know.
So why are you with him if you don't know if he has criminal history? Do you know how far he went to school? You're the boy explain something to you. She is on government housing. You shouldn't be living with her because the taxpayers don't want to pay for you to live with her. You need to get your own house. If she's carrying your child, which you say she is, you need to be financially able to support your child, which means you're not living off the government on her housing that's been paid up for a year that we the taxpayers are paid for. If people want to go out and have children, guess what? I'm not supposed to be the person supporting your child. Y'all supposed to support your child because I didn't agree to have a child with him. I didn't agree for you to have a child. Now, if you want the taxpayers to support your child, then what you need to do is, and I see mom holding him down, keeping him calm. You know what? If people want to play stupid games, you're going to get stupid prizes. And it's going to result in this deputy removing you from this courtroom. So if you want the government and the taxpayers to pay for you to have a child, you know what you need to do? Before y'all decide to live together and have a child, you need to come to a panel of citizens and say, I would like for you to pay for my housing. I would like for you to pay for my child. Will you agree for me to have a child? Not doing that. Y'all are just doing whatever you want to do and somebody else is taking care of your child. And when your child is born, if that's your mom, guess what? That grandmother is going to end up taking care of the child more than you. You understand? That's yes or no?
Yes.
All right, this is what the court is going to do. Court is going to sentence you to 8 years deferred adjudication. We'll do 200 hours of community service. Vashawn, if she gets a degree, if she gets into trade school, then those hours will be waived. I'm going to order parenting classes. If she completes parenting classes, then those hours will be waived. It's going to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person, regular UAs. I'm going to want field visits one time per month until further notice. And I'm going to want anger management classes. Proof of employment within 90 days. There should be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. Probation, is there anything else she needs? Is there anything else you need from the court in order to be successful?
No.
All right, I'm showing you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Because this is the plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
From here on out, we can go off the record. From here on out, everything you do in this world while you're still under this contract with the court, any decision you make, you need to ask yourself, is this something that could potentially result in me going to prison for 20 years? If the answer is yes, don't do it. If the answer is maybe, don't do it. And let me explain to you, I take no joy in sending people to prison, but if I feel they deserve to go to prison, I'm not going to be worried about the fact that you have a newborn baby, that you're breastfeeding or whatever. If it comes up that you need to go to prison, you're going to prison and somebody else will be raising your child. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
You're going to have to make better decisions. Good luck to you.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
May I be excused?
Yes. Who is here on Eros Rodriguez?
He's not, so. Judge, my client never made it to court. We couldn't find him. I know sometimes in the past, if I'm recalling correctly, I think you've given like a time frame for us to locate him and bring him in without issuing warrants.
I do that when people have never been to this court before.
Okay.
So this is his third setting.
Yeah, and it's really odd because he really doesn't ever do this, and we usually have great contact with him. So this really is if the court's going to take action, Judge, may I request that you do a bond increase? We are on his bond.
All right.
And that would be preferential for us.
All right. We're going to go on the record. The court is calling 2023 CR 4063, State of Texas versus Eros Alejandro Rodriguez. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Hank Wilkins for the state, Your Honor.
Defense.
James Tochi for Mr. Rodriguez, Judge.
All right. This hearing was scheduled at this hearing was scheduled at 9 a.m. It's now 11:39 a.m. Defense, do you know where your client is?
Do not, Judge. We've made several attempts to contact him. We have always been able to get in touch with him in the past. He's never missed a court date, so this is a little odd, but no, we haven't found him yet.
All right, Deputy, did you make an announcement?
Somebody else.
All right, state.
Your Honor, state asked for a bond forfeiture.
All right, the court will issue a judge's warrant and remain your client without bond. If your client makes an appearance, the court will reconsider.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, you're welcome. All right. James, did you show the intern around?
I did. He had some good OJT and kind of showed him a little snapshot of a day in the life. And
Oh, great.
I don't know what he learned, but maybe he didn't want to do this.
All right, Jonathan Dash. And then after Dash, it will be Robert Smith, Rudy Gonzalez, then Melvin Owens. All right, so where are we on this case?
Judge, I've been working with the state this morning. Hank and I've been working on this case. I think we've got something worked out, but they need to do a little bit more due diligence on another case that they're considering taking into consideration. They've had a hard time reaching the complaining witness in that case.
Okay.
And so we're asking if we can to reset this until Wednesday. That should give them ample opportunity to follow up with this complainant. and
Won't be
see
able to
what
do
we're
on Wednesday, but Norma, can we do this, bring this back this week, but not on a Wednesday? All right, we can come back on Thursday,
Check real quick, Judge. Should be able to do it.
and that's the 28th.
At jury duty. Believe it
Oh.
or not.
Oh, can you can pop up while if you pop up here first,
Yeah.
I mean, you can go down there because they do the speech and
I
then,
know. Then just go back.
Yes.
I'll do that.
all right, so we'll recall you for the 28th.
Okay.
All right,
That
we'll
sounds
bring
good.
you back on the 28th, Mr. Dash.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Judge. Appreciate
You're
it.
welcome.
Appreciate that. Okay. See you on Thursday. I'll go.
Today's docket traced one theme: choices meet consequences. In State versus Alvarado, a DWI with a child led to a suspended 2-year sentence and 4 years probation, with ignition interlock and victim-focused restitution. State versus Reyes showed how deferred adjudication can be a second chance if he follows the rules. State versus Davis reminded us how a prior felony can enhance punishment. Result, 8 years in. And State versus Chelsea mixed heat and hope. A serious assault charge steered into strict supervision to protect both public and child. If you found this case as shocking as we did, make sure to hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more jaw-dropping courtroom breakdowns every week right here